As time went on, I just started realizing how truly corrupt the globalists are, how truly corrupt our government really is, how truly corrupt Big Pharma really is. I started realizing just how corrupt Democrats in general are. Hello, fellow Patriots of WalkAway Social. My name is Bryce Collins, and I am 23 years old, and I reside in Dublin, Ohio, just 20 minutes outside of Columbus. And I would like to share with you guys my story. So, growing up, I was never really into politics because I was just a kid, who cares? And my parents never really got into politics that much. They never got out of their ways to discuss politics because they just voted whoever they thought was the best candidate. They didn't care about party. They just thought about, okay, I'll just vote who we think is best. And wasn't really a hot topic with our family. We just kind of went on with life, you know. So as a kid, never really into politics. And so when I was in high school in 2016, when Trump first started running, I start hearing about all these things about him, just hearing about what other people are saying about him. And my high school was very liberal, like pretty much all of them really are. I mean, all of these government-ran facilities are pretty liberal, as we can see. And yeah, I start hearing people slander Donald Trump, mostly students, but teachers did also. They just kind of went on with the narrative. Everyone just believed anything the news told them. And I'll be honest, I never really considered myself a liberal, but I just kind of followed with it because I just thought the majority rules type thing, majority wins, like majority is right type thing. And I just kind of went on and believed, but like I was never a hardcore liberal, or I was never really into politics still in high school, and still didn't pay attention. I just kind of listened to what everyone had to say, just kind of took it with a grain of salt, or just believed it. So when Trump got elected, everyone lost it, of course. And yeah, I would have my conservative bunch in my high school too that went against the opposition, and I would hear all these leftists just call those people names, like, you know, the classic names in the liberal book. I'm sure all you guys have been called those names, and I myself have been called those names, of course, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, just throughout high school, didn't really care about politics. I just liked listening to what other people had to say, just because I was interested, because people were really into politics at a very surprisingly young age. And people just watched the news, and people just followed with the system and the establishment. So let's fast forward to the 2020, the COVID year, the plandemic year, as I like to call it. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really awake. I still wasn't into politics. I didn't really think anything of COVID. I was just like, oh, like a disease happened. It's a very deadly disease. We should all get locked up for whatever, blah, blah, blah. And just kind of went on with the guidelines and stuff. And I was not very awake till later. And then Trump versus Biden came along, like the 2020 election started coming on, and I started seeing all my friends and other people that I know on social media just talk so badly about Trump. Like, I would just hear all my roommates listen to the news, and they're like, oh yeah, Trump's bad, like Biden 2020, all that stuff. And yeah, so when it came around election time, like, people were just like, I just did not appreciate just how hardcore people hated Trump, and they just wanted to take him out so badly. And I never understood it. I couldn't grasp or comprehend couldn't grasp the hatred towards Trump, because I don't think World War III happened when he was in office. Like, last time I checked, our economy was pretty good under him. So I just didn't know why people wanted that. Like, wanted him out of office so badly. Is it because he made a few mean tweets? Are people that soft? Come on. And then Biden got installed. But first, I want to talk about January 6th for a second. So when January 6th happened, I was in the middle of my shift at one of the jobs I had during that time, and people started talking all over social media about like how white privilege, white people can storm the Capitol, but if it was a group of black people, they'd be getting shot down. And I still didn't really pay much attention to it. I just kind of heard what the narrative was, and I was like, okay, like there's racism going on. Okay, got it. And after Biden got installed, I start realizing inflation's starting to go up. Gas prices started to go up. I find out he shut down the Keystone Pipeline very quick into his first week, 2 weeks of his term, I believe. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he shut down the pipeline, and then the price of gas started going up, and so did inflation. I start to think to myself, this never happened under Trump. Maybe this guy wasn't so bad after all. Maybe the media is lying about him. And I start watching a bunch of red pill content on TikTok, Instagram. I follow people like Benny Johnson, Charlie Kirk, and of course Turning Point USA, and Candace Owens. And I freaking love Candace Owens. She's an absolute dog. I really like her a lot. And of course, so are the rest of the other conservative speakers and commentators. And everything they said started to really make sense to me. And I started doing a lot of my research on my own. And of course, as time went on, I just started realizing that the media is full of crap. I start realizing the corruption of big pharma later on with the COVID vaccines and stuff like that. And yeah, I really came to a point that's like, okay, this country was far better off under Trump. I mean, inflation was at an 8.3%, while I think inflation was at 1.6 under Trump. Biden's reckless policies, like the borders started becoming wide open, like all these illegal immigrants started coming into this country. And last time I checked, when Trump was in office, we had the best economy in American history, all-time low illegal immigration, all-time low minority unemployment. I said that already. Stock market was flourishing. Border was secure. Kept the World Economic Forum in check, or the globalists in check. Kept China in check. All of our enemies in check. They didn't mess with us. No new wars happened. Not one American soldier died under his administration. I'm not here to put Trump on a pedestal and say he's perfect. Yeah, there's some things I didn't agree with him on. I definitely do not agree with how he went about things on Twitter. The things he said was true now that I look back on and realize it. His presidency was pretty darn good. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, we really did have it good under President Trump. And he is without a shadow of doubt getting my vote in 2024. And I will say this, I did not vote in 2020 because I was not into politics, and I did not start getting into politics until I started realizing how corrupt Biden really is. I got very sick of the media's lies about both Trump and Biden. I hated seeing how they hyped up Biden like he was this savior for our country when he's actually destroying it. He is ruining our country with his reckless policies, along with many Democrats in office, in the government, in all these powerful political positions. And Trump actually made our country great. I mean, our military was pretty darn strong. I mean, recruitment was at a pretty high level, and now it's at a very low recruitment rate. And anyway, I am really fed up with all the double standards between Democrats and Republicans. And yeah, as time went on, I just started realizing how truly corrupt the globalists are, how truly corrupt our government really is, how truly corrupt Big Pharma really is. I started realizing just how corrupt Democrats in general are. And I'm not saying Republicans are perfect by any means. I don't even consider Trump a Republican because he stood up against Republicans too. I mean, he went against them too. And I just see myself more as a Trump supporter, and I feel like he's the only person in politics that really cared about the American people and did what was right for our country. And yeah, he's the only one I truly trust out of any other Republican and Democratic candidate running in 2024. But yeah, back to what I was saying earlier about the media. Like, I just started realizing, like, all these BS articles and about Trump and any other conservative ideology was just blatant lies after lies after lies. And I just find it so funny how the media tried to paint Trump in a certain way because Trump wanted to go against the establishment. And I start to really realize that there is a plan to control and dominate the entire world, and Trump is going to do anything that he can to stop that, and the establishment hates that. That is why the media is going after him so much, because he stood up against it. Isn't it so funny how before Trump ran as a Republican, he was loved by every Democrat, he was loved by all these big people, until he went against the system, because Trump actually wanted to do what was best for the American people. And that is why he is getting my vote in 2024. And yeah, I'm just very sick of the double standards and the bias of a big corporate media. And it's funny how when Biden commits a crime, like, it's scandal after 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 scandal with the Biden and his crime family, but yet the media doesn't want to cover it. But if Trump does something even slightly, anything that Biden, I guess not anything what he would do, but if Trump were to do anything Joe Biden would do, the media would go nuts. That does not stand well with me at all. I actually started really researching history too. I mean, real history. And I just find it so funny that these leftists will label Trump as a Nazi, and they compared him to Adolf Hitler. But Trump did nothing that a dictator would do. He didn't try to control people like a dictator would, like Adolf Hitler did. Adolf Hitler had his political opponents arrested, and that is what Joe Biden is doing to Trump. The double standards and the hypocrisy from the left wing is astounding. I just can't believe it. Like, I'm about to lose it, bro. Democrats have done every single thing that they've accused Trump of. Joe Biden has done everything he accused Donald Trump of. That is what Nazis and fascists do. People need to learn history. It is astounding to me that people don't see it. And sorry if I went on a little bit of a rant there, but I am very passionate about what I believe in. I am also very Christian. I do firmly believe that Jesus Christ came on the cross and died for all of humanity's sin. And if you guys want to talk more about that, I'm willing to as well. And I believe that everything going on in our world today is tied with the Bible. Of course, not all the prophecies have been fulfilled yet, but they're on their way to. And yeah, there's more to unpack there, maybe for a different video. But yeah, I just wanted to take some time to share my views with you guys and how I started really becoming awake and how I really started to wake up. And God has done a lot in my life these past couple years, and he's really shown me a lot of cool things, and he's shown me a lot of the corruption going on in our world today. So yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you guys are at. And
for more great videos, download the WalkAway Social app at walkawaysocial.com. Share your testimonial and join our community.